to teach you how to keep your action figures safe from mayhem, like me. Okay, I'm not the mayhem, but I'm going to teach you how to keep them safe. What's up guys, Matt here from Nerdzoic with another video for you. If it's your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. New videos come up every Tuesday and Thursday. If you're a nerd, if you're just getting into action figure collecting, or maybe you're just getting back into it, maybe you're just kind of action figure curious. Either way, this channel's for you. Subscribe! Do it! Let's face it, it's probably happened to you before. It's one of the worst feelings in the world. That's right, a damaged action figure. Imagine a world, though, where you could keep your figure safe at all times. How great would that be? Well, today, I'm going to teach you how. Here's the deal. There's 7 enemies to action figures. We're going to go through each one. Also, as a bonus, stick around to the end. I'm going to tell you how to store your action figures so that they can be kept in a warehouse, wherever the hell you want, safely, long term. Stick around. The first enemy of action figures is sunlight. The UV rays, they no bueno for action figures. Loose figures with too much exposure to direct sunlight will become loose, brittle, and eventually just kind of crack in half. That's no fun because they dry out. On top of that, the colors start to fade and they become blotchy. Sun is no good for those loose figures. It's also not good for carded figures. It's the blister, the thing that holds the toy onto the cardboard, that'll eventually become brittle and that'll crack as well. On top of that, it also bleaches the ink on the cardboard, so if you're a fan of your packages, don't let them get in your sunlight. They're gonna look like crap. What's the solution here? Keep them away from a window. If they need to be near a window, make sure it's not direct sunlight getting on them. Use these things called curtains. They're magical. Keep your toys away from the sun. The sun's the devil. Enemy number 2 is humidity. Both too much humidity and too little humidity. Neither are good. We're looking for the Goldilocks of humidity. If the area you're keeping your toys in is too humid, your cards are going to get this damp feeling to them. And eventually they're going to get moldy. The figures themselves will have loose joints. They'll start to corrode and the stickers will come off. On the other hand, too dry is also a problem. It causes things to get brittle and dry rot. That's right, rot and dry rot. Humid, too humid, either way it's bad. Solution? Keep the perfect humidity. So there's different ways to do this. You could choose a room that has a natural humidity. You can monitor the humidity wherever you store them. You can utilize special things like a dehumidifier. That's what we use here in the basement of the Nerd Dungeon. Nerd Dungeon. I like that. I might stick... No, wait, that sounds a little creepy. We're going to stick with Nerd Bunker. Enemy number 3 is smoke, which means my mother is an enemy because she's like a walking cigarette. Cigarette smoke is really bad for toys. Any smoke, really, so candles as well. Don't let an open flame be near your toys, not because of forest fires, but because the smoke damages them. Lando here, he's the result of being too close to a smoker. He's gotten all yellowy. We don't want no yellowy figures, right? Say no to cigarettes just because your action figures do not like them. Also, they're bad for you. Enemy number 4 is the temperature. So if it's too hot or too cold, again, we got a Goldilocks situation here. You want it to be room temperature, which is around 70 degrees. If the room's too hot, the figures will eventually soften and start to deform. Alternatively, if the figures are too cold, they become brittle and are prone to crack. 70 degrees. Number 5 on the list of enemies is dirt. This one's a pretty common one. Figures get dirty. How do they get dirty? From being handled. Fingers have natural oils on them, so they're going to get things dirty. And frankly, people aren't very good at washing their hands. Let's face facts here. So how can you minimize this? Really simple. Put your figures in protective cases, put them on display. If you're really anal retentive, wear gloves when you use them. That might be a step too far even for me. More importantly than anything else though, keep them clean. Dust them at least once a month. I'm gonna put a link up here to a video I made recently about how to clean your action figures. Take a look at that. That'll help you keep them clean and from the dirt damaging them. Number 6 is Mother Nature. So Mother Nature can take many forms. It can be a hurricane, it can be a flood, it can be a fire. Basically, it's when the building that is housing your toys is destroyed. I'm gonna classify robbery in there too. I'm gonna basically classify anything you can't control as Mother Nature. Act of God, if you will. The only way to deal with this, frankly, is to accept that it can happen. You can take precautions, like practicing fire safety, locking the door, etc. But in the end, It's a physical thing that can be lost. The best way to prepare for this is to have a really good inventory of what you have and to buy collectible insurance. I shouldn't say this, but I don't have it. It's one of those things I've been meaning to do, up there with life insurance, go to the doctor, mow your lawn, don't smoke crack. God, so many rules. One really important thing to know is just because you have homeowners insurance, that's not going to necessarily help your collectibles. Homeowners insurance will reimburse you for them if you have proof that you had them and have an inventory of them, but let's say you buy something at a really great price and it appreciates in value, they're going to insure it for the price you paid for it. So whatever you pay is what it's insured for. So if you have a collection that you bought low and either plan to resell or plan to hold and see it rise, grow in value, collectible insurance is the way to go. It's not that expensive. I priced it not too long ago. It was something like $120 for the year. Why the hell don't I have it? In the end, the biggest thing that puts your figures at risk is you damaging them yourself. Dropping them, stepping on them, letting children get to them. Just be careful. That's all you can do. Use protective cases for things that are on display so if they fall, they don't get as damaged. But it happens, guys. Like at the beginning of the video where you saw that, I don't know, we were lucky to have cameras on hand to see him getting emotional just talking about it. Okay, I'm good. He was just so young. Alright, I promised a bonus, how to deal with putting your figures in storage, so here are some tips for you. 1, choose a storage unit that has climate control and humidity control. So ideally, it's a unit that has indoor access, not one of those roll-up creepy door Hannibal Lecter deals. 2nd, use sealable plastic bins. Always line them in bubble wrap and take each figure and wrap it individually in bubble wrap and throw it in. To help with the humidity, throw some of those silica packets in there. They won't, you know, the ones that say do not eat, those. Throw some in, they'll help absorb any moisture that's in there. For your loose figures, make sure you put them in a Ziploc bag with their accessories if you want to be able to identify them ever again and figure out what goes where. Speaking of identifying, make sure you have a really good inventory of what is in each tub. Maybe do a number system, maybe group them by likeness. Hey, whatever works for you. Remove the batteries. They'll leak. Use common sense and do such things as putting the heavy stuff on the bottom and the light stuff on the top. I probably shouldn't have to tell you that, but I did anyway. Make sure your figures are clean before you put them in storage, or else they're just going to make your other figures dirty. And remember, when you put something in storage, it's still at risk of coming into one of the enemies of action figures that I talked about above. Follow these instructions, get insurance, and you'll be able to sleep easy at night. Hope you enjoyed this video. Very basic for the new action figure collectors. Go ahead and hit subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you're enjoying the content. If it's too basic for you, tell me. What do you want to see? Hit me up. Until then, stay nerdy, guys.